So
Well,
we
Pete, that's
are
good.
joined today by Jeremy Franco from Spectrum Health Ludington and Eric Smith from the Mason County District Library. And they are here today to talk about the Connecting Mason County initiative, which I am very excited about because I
That's good.
moved a half a mile onto a dirt road with no internet
Oh man.
because we're crazy. So I've just had my fingers crossed for the 2 years, 3 years since we started building that we weren't going to be in the dark forever. So I'm really hoping that this takes legs, and I want everyone to know about it so that we can make fun things happen here in the internet realm.
Yeah.
So what I don't know who Eric, did you want to start first with just kind of a tell us about the initiative itself and who's behind it and what we need from Mason County residents?
Yeah, sounds great. Mason County, Connecting Mason County is kind of a loose partnership of a whole bunch of local organizations. When we first started moving into a post in-person world, a lot of us noticed that there were significant broadband gaps in our community that were having an effect on everybody's ability to do the important work that our local institutions were doing. So these are institutions like Spectrum Health, West Shore ESD, West Shore College, Pennies from Heaven, the Chamber of Commerce, the school districts, Mason County District Library, United Way, and many different organizations were finding that there were challenges to providing the services that we provide in the current climate. So we spoke to each other and decided that we needed to take an opportunity to do something about it while the iron was hot. This is not the first time Mason County has tried to up our bandwidth collectively. I think the difference between those other attempts and this time really is the climate that we're in. There's a lot more willpower to change it. There's a lot more reasons to change it. It doesn't feel like a luxury anymore to have a great internet connection. It feels like a really big detriment to not. There's so many things that you are outside of and unable to do if you don't have a robust internet connection.
As I'm aware of.
Well, and I know during COVID, when the schools were shut down, we had to set up certain areas where students and parents could pull into parking lots to access internet, even to download assignments.
Mm-hmm.
Although the students all had iPads, they couldn't connect. So that became a huge issue.
And what we found is that even among the people living in town, people with what we thought were very robust connections were unable to meet the demands of having two working from home adults and some number of children doing school. So there was really nobody that was served well in our community, or very few people. So it kind of went from meh to terrible.
Yeah, we had this issue right here in town last week during the live show at a establishment that is designed to offer internet for multiple people streaming and doing Zoom calls at the same time.
Yeah.
So there, I don't think it's ever from. I don't know how many of you know this, but I actually used to co-own an internet service provider,
Oh.
dial-up. Way
Yeah.
back in the day, right?
Oh
when
my
I
gosh.
graduated from college. So I'm familiar with how far we've come from dial-up services to getting high speed to a lot more of the area, which is one reason I'm not in that business anymore. It was changing, and I know that the infrastructure costs a lot. So that's why I'm loving the collaboration with people just from the advocacy to the funding to just coming together to like, what can we do to make it better in our rural area?
Not even just mitigating school, but I'm seeing Jeremy over here, and she's in my bottom left corner. healthcare, like telehealth is becoming a big thing. Specialists are harder to come by in rural areas, but you can connect to them if you can connect to the internet. And that's huge for
Yeah.
those of us who live in more remote areas.
Yeah, it really is, Heather. Having broadband is really becoming a foundational aspect of the way we live, right? I like to think of it personally, almost as synonymous with electric and gas, frankly, because not only for healthcare, but also think wellness, think all of the different things that you may want to do. Having broadband access at home or where you are makes the things that you want to do more convenient. It makes it easier to access, and so that's one of the big reasons that Spectrum Health Ludington is a big partner in this effort. We really want to work with the community and find ways to improve access, improve the quality. I think one of the big things that we've all seen through this is that a few years ago it used to be fine to have an internet connection with, I don't know, maybe a 100 megabit download and a 5 or 10 megabit upload. But now what we're finding is more and more people inside of our homes need access to the internet, especially for doing homework, working from home, maybe attending a wellness class, or just connecting with somebody who isn't in your community. And so having those speeds isn't really sufficient for more users in the home. Another big issue that we're seeing is people are now trying to share video, right? Just like we are today here. And so video, frankly, it just takes more bandwidth. And so we really need to work on improving our access, because we know these requirements are only going to continue to grow. And so laying the groundwork now by working on this survey and kind of figuring out where we're at as a community is an important first step. So maybe
I don't think we told people what you need them to do.
Yep. So we have a Facebook page. It's called Connecting Mason County. And when you are on that Facebook page, there's a link to a survey. We've partnered with Western Land, and we're offering that survey. Basically, kind of has a couple different components. One of the components is, tell me about your internet access. Tell me, what you'd like, what some of the issues are. And the idea behind this survey is we really need to figure out, kind of set this baseline of where we're at as a community. Do people have access? Do they not have access? And then if they don't have access, what kind of access do they want? And so we've got a nice little grid on there that kind of breaks down, if you're a household with 1 or 2 users, you probably need a speed of maybe 100 megabits down and 100 megabits up. But if you're a larger household or establishment, then maybe you want a higher speed. And so then we're also trying to figure out, what would you be willing to pay per month? And then the reason that we're partnering with our local company is we're going to put this on a map so that everybody can see kind of the responses. And I think it'll really help kind of create that visual of, where we're at as a community now. So.
And Eric might know, are there opportunities for us to get broadband here? Are there grants available? What's our long-term vision? I'm a long-term vision person. I need to know.
Right.
Right. Well, there are grants, and Michigan has unveiled certain amounts of cash to communities that are underserved.
Which
one of the big issues, we are not, according to the current, this is one of the reasons why we have to do this survey. According to the current, the way that those dollars are dispersed, they're dispersed along the lines of these FCC maps. And FCC's current definition of broadband is extremely inadequate for our needs. And then when they ask our incumbent providers how much are they serving, the incumbent providers are allowed to claim any census block in which one person is served with broadband. And
That's not good.
What that means is that our maps that are being used currently to decide who's going to get this state funding and these larger infusions of dollars are very, very inaccurate to the actual lay of the land here. And so that's another reason why we're doing these surveys, because we need to have the ability to challenge those maps and to say we've invested in our own research, and it looks to us like we have a much bigger problem than what you think we have.
Right.
Yeah.
So long term, that's kind of step one, is to be able to say, like, hey, there's a big problem with how you're dispersing these funds, and will we be able to fix that? Who knows? But we'll at least be able to challenge it. The other thing that we'd like to do with the survey is be able to tell new providers, new incoming people that maybe have their own ability to serve based on new investments in technology, where the pockets are that their technology can feasibly get to and in a way that's really valuable for them. So there are broadband frequencies for civilian band that are becoming publicly available to internet providers that don't have the issues with tree cover and clouds that that current fixed Wi-Fi does have. And it may be very possible with the information that we're gathering here to find places where that would serve people way out in the community that don't have any options right now. And if we can identify where those places are because of the terrain and because of the interest, we can encourage that technology to be installed in our county.
I know just from the downtown realm of Wi-Fi, we've had conversations with internet providers about different channels on Wi-Fi routers, and how if everybody's on the same channels, how that static, kind of like if there's a bunch of people on the same radio signal, and you're getting all of the stations all at once. And so that's, we've been trying to educate our businesses on how that works too, and choosing different channels. So it sounds similar to
yeah. And I honestly, Jen, I know you have a lot of experience in public Wi-Fi and how that policy gets made. And anytime you want to help us weigh in on, we'd love to have your input.
Well, that's something that the DDA board has talked about too as a focus, is having public Wi-Fi, or at least decent Wi-Fi available downtown. So yeah, definitely something that we should have more conversations about.
Yeah.
We
And
tried
Eric,
public Wi-Fi and it did not work so well.
Yeah.
It was off for more of a year than it was on.
I remember some of the challenges that you had there, and I think those practical experiences have a lot of value for us as in our group going forward.
Yep. Eric, can you talk about where people can get the survey if they don't have access to the internet?
Obviously,
That's a good point.
broadband survey is
I did post a
available.
link to that in the comments as well, so
Yep.
people that are listening can see that down there.
All right, good.
It is available online through our Facebook and through easily findable. Also, we do have out and about, you'll be seeing yard signs at some of your favorite local locations. And we've got a few up, and today I think it's sunny and wonderful, and I'm going to drive around and put up the rest. And so those have a QR code. You're able to scan that with a QR reader on your phone and get to the survey that way. The library also has printed copies for you to fill out and give back to us, and they will make sure that they get input into our system. And we've sent out through the schools. We've got some mailings going out, and also recently, we're very excited to announce that when people are waiting for their vaccination at Spectrum Health Clinics, they'll be presented with an opportunity to fill this out during their observation period or during their waiting period. So we're hoping that will give people from a lot of different walks of life and a lot of different outlying areas an opportunity to do the survey and give us really good data while they're waiting for getting vaccinated.
So Eric, you are not open yet, correct? They can still do curbside, or
The library is open for curbside. The lobby is not open.
if
And
they pull up,
you
they can call and you
call or
can.
ring the doorbell. Both branches have doorbells that you can ring, and we'll show up to the door and help you out. I think that those surveys are actually just in a binder or in a flyer rack outside of both doors, so you can come and just grab one,
Yep.
and then
When
drop
they
it off. in the
grab their
book drop
family
or-
fun pack today, they can also grab their survey.
Family fun packs go out, tomorrow.
Oh,
And
tomorrow. It is Thursday. I keep
it's
thinking
Friday, yeah.
It's our Friday.
It's Friday to me.
This week
This
is
week.
super fun. It's old timey marbles. So
I
you
saw
all the
that.
instructions on playing marbles with your fam,
Yep.
and it's going to be super cool. But we're excited about that.
I was trying to find, because I was going to show we got the QR code sheet in the school folder this week. So I was going to show, like, this is
Yeah,
part of it, but it wasn't in my bag.
we've been the school districts have all done so much work to help us, and obviously there's a big divide between the one-to-one technology in the Leadington schools and sort of how the schools on the other side of the county are trying to get students online and do distance learning for them, and it makes it challenging when you can have the iPads if you don't have a good place to use them.
There were
Yeah,
a lot of
and-
papers handed out this summer with buses.
Yeah.
And I just would like to take a minute to speak to the time sensitivity too. I think, what we've all been through over the last year has been a wake up call for many communities, and so as we try to put together a program here that addresses our needs, getting this information back on the survey and moving through the feasibility study and the next steps that we'll bring back are really important to kind of move on that. So, I think we all understand that there are limited dollars available for funding these types of efforts, especially in terms of grants and other dollars that would be awarded. So, we're really trying to wrap this survey up in the next 30 days or so, and then be able to incorporate all of that detail into our plans.
So let's say before spring break, before people go on that break, they need
That's
to
right.
get the survey, fill it out. Because although we are blessed with this vaccine coming out, many of us won't be eligible for said vaccine for quite a while yet. And
Yep.
so we're still probably going to see a lot of this distance learning and Zoom meetings for the foreseeable future, I would say. We're incrementally getting back together, but I don't see those huge, large opportunities coming up in the near future because we're not all vaccinated. So broadband is going to be even more important, even moving forward. And we're seeing in our downtown a lot of people choosing Leadington and choosing to live here who don't necessarily have jobs here.
Yes, exactly.
Their jobs are remote. So if we want those people to continue coming to our community or coming here for half the year and working, and then maybe they go back to another place for the other half of the year, this is extremely important in that. And those people are members of our community. They're wanting to be a part of Leadington.
Yeah, I think it opens up another huge opportunity for our community to get really high quality talent, people that want to live in a beautiful place that we have here, be active members in our community, but be able to work for companies that are maybe located in other locations. And so it's just another great avenue if we can kind of lay the groundwork here to get really high quality broadband. I think we're only going to see more and more home buyers and people that are shopping around for where they want to live. It's going to be really high on their priority list, as a number one thing, number two thing, number three thing. So yeah.
And as a transplant, I know Eric's a transplant as well. We chose to come here. Oh, and Jeremy's a transplant. Jen, you're the lone local on this call. See, so we can all vouch for wanting to be here, and other people want to be here as well.
Yeah, and my parents are still in Free Soil where I grew up, and they struggle with that.
They don't have broadband. Jen would like to talk to her parents more. People fill this survey. We need to FaceTime Noah. We need some broadband.
we live the life where we see the need. So I appreciate everything that you guys are doing to put this issue in the forefront, and we will be sharing that survey link with all of our businesses downtown as well. Most of them live here in Mason County, so we'll push and do what we can, and we're asking everybody that's listening or watching today to do the same. If you live in Mason County or own property, like even if you own property and you're here for the summer, you can still take the survey, correct?
Yes, please do. And no matter what your current level of internet is, or what your current level of satisfaction with that internet is, we would love to hear we'd love to hear from you. And especially if you have had a struggle, or if you have anything going on with your broadband that you need to put in the comments, those have been very valuable for us. Things like, we tried this group or this company, we tried that company, and these were the issues that we experienced with each one. And those kinds of things really help too.
And we have some international viewers here who come to Ludington to visit, so it'd be interesting to hear their perspective as well, as to where they're coming from. And then when they get here, what are they experiencing? What are they lacking? Some of them are part-time residents. Some of them come here frequently on vacation. And
yeah, or those that come here from the summer just from bigger cities that don't see the issue as much. I think they'd have value input.
And even just to add one other point, I know that this is more of a Mason County focused group right now, but our group, it is a community collaborative, and we are working with other counties around the area. I believe that Manistee County is going to be launching a similar survey soon. We're working with Oceana County as well, and so we aren't really kind of doing this work in a silo. We are really taking an area approach, if you will. But it is a big issue, and so at some level you kind of have to focus in on something and work to make progress and share the lessons learned with other agencies as well. So.
Well, I think this just speaks to volumes to what we do here in Ludington and the surrounding area, and our collaborative efforts across the board, because we have to. We don't have the option not to, and we're all going through the same struggle. So why not join forces and make it happen?
Yep, exactly.
Well, and Jeremy, speaking of on the sort of the urgency of the issue, there's a lot to be gained from this economically and from a perspective of well-being for action right now. There's a lot to lose from inaction right now.
Yes. We
would continue to be behind the curve as far as our educational outcomes go, and as far as our wellness outcomes go. This is a real galvanizing moment that we really do need to take advantage of. And I think that the gains are great. The losses are greater for not acting right now.
Take advantage of the situation while we can, right?
Yeah. Thanks for the time. We really appreciate it. So
thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll stay in the loop and keep people informed on how this progresses in the future too.
Thank you so much. It's really great to talk to you.
Have a great weekend, guys.
All right. You too. See ya.